guys, what's going on? It's MassiveJoes Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome Raw Review for the viewers at home today on an all-new, super potent, high-stim fat burner from our good friends at Australian supplement company Red Dragon Nutritionals. It is, of course, Fireball Black in the house. Let's get straight into it, tell you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. The nutritional information panel on these small little tubs ain't going to get it done. We're about to go deep in this here Red Dragon Fireball Black. Luckily, big ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen at the moment so you guys can play along. Starting from the top, we've got 40 scoops per tub, and this is a 1 scoop serve. So 40 scoops and 40 serves in each and every tub of this Fireball Black. Each scoop and each serve is going to weigh 6.5 grams, and each of those 6.5 gram scoops is made up of 12 active ingredients and a whole bunch of inactive ingredients. If we do a quick addition and we sum up all of those active ingredients that we can see appearing on the nutritional panel, we're dealing with 1.997 0.01, I think, of total grams of active ingredients. So we're dealing with 30% active ingredients and 70% non-actives. And those are your flavors, your sweeteners, your stabilizers, your colors. I need to disclaim real quick because I know you guys are like, ooh, what's going on here? Only 30% of each scoop is actually what I'm paying for in this product. We have very interesting regulations in this country, in Australia, when it comes to caffeine content. One of those has to do with the maximum amount of caffeine by weight that we can put in our supplements, and that percentage is 5%. Because there's a bunch of caffeine in here, and we'll get into that as we take a deep dive into the effects of this product and those individual ingredients, Red Dragon have had to bump out that scoop size to make sure that the total amount of caffeine per weight per scoop doesn't exceed 5%. So a lot of that 70% of inactive ingredients is actually a fiber that they've added to the scoop just to chunk out the scoop. So it's not gonna have really any effect at all. It's just to get the volume of the scoop up so that they meet the regulatory requirement of not having more than 5% caffeine. Why that is a regulatory requirement is a discussion for another day, but that just helps you guys understand why there's 30% actives and 70% non-actives, and a big chunk of the 70% non-actives is that fiber just to chunk out that scoop. In terms of what these 12 active ingredients are and how they work together, link is in the description box down below, guys, to our Supplement Simplified articles where you can go and take a deep dive into each of these ingredients. We are going to focus on the 5 main effects that we look for in stimulant-based fat-burning, complete fat loss supplements. Those 5 effects are increased thermogenesis, increased fat metabolism or lipolysis, increase metabolic output, stabilize fat loss hormones, in particular insulin and cortisol, and then increase energy and our feeling of well-being and our mood, of course. Let's go through these one by one. Let's see how this Fireball stacks up based on the ingredients listed in the nutritional panel. Effect number 1, increasing thermogenesis. There's actually nothing that's going to directly do that in this formula. There are ingredients that are gonna indirectly boost thermogenesis, but there's no grains of paradise, there's no capsicum extracts, there's none of those real direct thermogenic ingredients in here. So we actually don't have any ingredients that are gonna directly assist with this effect. Effect number 2, increased fat metabolism, lipolysis. We have 3 ingredients in this formula that are gonna do that. The first 2 are forms of carnitine. The first one is acetyl L-carnitine hydrochloride. The second one is L-carnitine L-tartrate, and we have a solid combined dose of those 2 forms of carnitine. The acetyl L-carnitine also contains that acetyl chain that's going to cross the blood-brain barrier and help with mental focus and a little bit of mood as well, but primarily the carnitine is going to help with that fat metabolism effect. And then we have some synergism as well, because we also have a nice solid dose of the gamma butyrobutane HCl or GBB in here, which is a precursor to carnitine. So we actually have some nice synergism when it comes to the fat metabolism effect. So we get a big tick here. Effect number 3, increased metabolic output. We have another 3 ingredients that are going to help with this effect and some nice synergism here as well. Firstly, we have a Coleus forskolii extract. We don't know what percentage extract this is, but most of the time it's 20%. So we're going to assume in Fireball Black that it is a 20% extract. It's towards the bottom end of our clinical dosing range based on that assumption, but it is going to increase metabolic output very directly. That's in combination with a bitter orange extract yielding 50% synephrine, which is actually at the maximum allowable dose. Here come the Australian regulations again, that we are allowed to have in Australia. And there's some nice synergism there with the synephrine boosting metabolic output and the forskolii in there as well. And then finally, we have hordenine hydrochlorides in a very nice dose in this Fireball Black that is also going to help increase metabolic output and also boost our central nervous system. So there's going to have some co-effects there on boosting energy and our feeling of well-being as well. We get a big tick there for increasing metabolic output. Effect number 4, stabilize fat loss hormones, in particular insulin and cortisol. This is another effect that there really aren't any ingredients that are going to directly help us achieve this result with this particular product. So we don't get a tick there. And then finally, increase energy and feeling of well-being. This is really where this product comes into its own, guys. So we got 4 ingredients. Well, 4, but actually really there's 7 in here. So we have L-tyrosine, we have natural caffeine, we have L-theanine, and then we have 3 B vitamins in there. So the tyrosine is towards the bottom end of clinical dosing range, but tyrosine is one of these ingredients that plays along the dopamine chain. So L-tyrosine is a precursor to acetyltyrosine, a precursor to L-dopa, which is a precursor to dopamine, which boosts dopamine in our brain and improves our feeling of well-being and our mood. We then have a big dose of natural caffeine. We've got 300 milligrams total natural caffeine. It's towards the upper end of what most people are going to want and what most people can tolerate. That being said, it is natural, so it's not synthetic caffeine and it's not going to hit you like synthetic caffeine. We'll talk more about those effects when we talk about the effects of this product. We've got some L-theanine in there, which is just to take the edge off that massive dose of natural caffeine. And then the B vitamins for natural energy production as well. So we've got some nice synergism, 7 ingredients really working for this effect of boosting energy and boosting our feeling of well-being. In terms of what it's missing, pretty obvious where the holes are in this formula, guys. We've been through them already. Something for thermogenesis, something for stabilizing fat loss hormones. It does tick 3 out of the 5 boxes that we look for when we consider the effects that we want in a complete stimulant-based fat loss supplement. But those are the 2 effects where it really falls down. So far as the 3 effects that it does tick them very well. So we probably wouldn't like to see any kind of changes to the formula when it comes to fat metabolism, when it comes to increasing metabolic output, when it comes to feeling of well-being and boosting energy as well. In terms of how it tastes, how it mixes, it comes in 2 flavors, guys. It comes in purple drank, which is a grape-inspired, got codeine in my cup, flavor. It's a great flavor. They've called it purple drank. And then it comes in the flavor we've got right here, the sour watermelon flavor as well. This is my personal tub down here, the grape purple drank flavor. So this is the one that we're going to do a little taste test on. I will firstly tell you guys that a scoop there's a couple of interesting things going on with this scoop. So a scoop is supposed to weigh 6.5 grams. And if you read the label, it does say 1 full scoop. There is a little line on these scoops. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can kind of see it almost sits in line with the handle there, which is actually going to yield the 6.5 grams. So if you're taking a full scoop, a full level scoop, which looks pretty much like that, that's actually going to be about 25% more than the 6.5 gram scoop that you think you're getting. And this is super important because this is a very potent high stim fat burner. So what you're trying to get is a scoop that gets you up to, if I can get it here, that's too much. There we go. That gets you up to that line marker in the scoop. That's going to be a 6.5 grams. If you're taking a full level scoop, it's over by about 25%. It actually weighs closer to 8 grams. We're going to take, I just had it perfect, and I threw it back in the tub. We're going to take the 6.5 gram scoop, and now we're going to revisit the Australian regulations again, because if I am to follow these directions, 1 full scoop, 950 mils of cold water, which is going to be actually more water than I can fit in an MJ shaker. Once again, that's to meet Australian regulations in terms of the amount of caffeine that we can have per milliliter when our food supplements are mixed up. Why the regulation exists, that's a topic for another day. What I'm going to do, and what I have been doing, is I've been using about half that amount of water. So about 400 mils of water. We've got about 400 mils of water here in our MJ shaker. I'm going to take a 6.5 gram scoop. I'm going to throw it in here. Give a few flicks of the wrist. I'm going to show you guys how it mixes. Now I'm going to refresh my memory on how this purple drink tastes, man. Okay, that's enough. As you guys can see, mixes very well. No floaters, no sinkers. I do often actually just take a scoop, mix it in a glass, and stir it up with a spoon. So I would go so far as to say turbo ball is not required for this Red Dragon Nutritionals Fireball Black. Let me refresh my memory on how the purple drank grape flavor tastes, man. Red Dragon have done a great job. They generally do a very good job across pretty much all of their supplements, from proteins to pre-workouts to aminos. They generally do a very good job with flavors, and the Fireball Black is no exception in my personal opinion. Couple of things on the flavor. The flavors are very sweet. So I mixed one 6.5 gram scoop up in 400 mils of water. Of course, if it's too sweet for you, if the flavors are too strong, you can use more water. You can go up to 900 mils as regulations would have us believe we need to mix it. But the flavors are strong. Not too sweet though. They're just kind of like potent flavors, which I personally like. If I had to rank the flavors, Purple Drank for me is my preferred flavor, hence why that was my preferred tub, and then the sour watermelon after that, but each to their own when it comes to the flavors. In terms of the effects, first things first, guys, whenever we talk about fat loss supplements, we have to remind you that you have to be in a caloric deficit if you're trying to lose body fat. The laws of thermodynamics will not allow your body to lose body fat if you're consuming more calories than your body requires in any 24-hour period of time. So now that we've got that out of the way, make sure you're in a caloric deficit before you start adding fat loss supplements to your supplementation regime for the results that you're looking for. Very, very strong fat burner. Let's make no mistake about it. I think really the one effect that I want to drive home with this Fireball Black, in terms of all the other fat loss supplements available in the market, because there are a lot of them, this is a very strong fat burner. That being said, it's a very well balanced in terms of energy and mood and metabolic output and fat metabolism, fat burner as well. So it's going to hit you very hard if you like the kind of, punch in the face feel from your fat burner. You really want to feel something. This product is going to do that for you, but it's also not going to drop you like a sack of shit a couple of hours later, like a lot of very high stim fat burners can do. It is quite a well balanced. The use of natural caffeine with the tyrosine, with the theanine, with the B vitamins works really, really well. So it hits you very hard, but it is a nice, steady, controlled elevation in energy and elevation in mood as well. So far as the actual fat loss effects are concerned, I think it's a solid formula. There are obviously those gaps in the formula, but I'm not necessarily against what Red Dragon have decided to leave out of this formula. If they were to put those thermogenic ingredients in there, which of course would boost thermogenesis and would improve the overall efficacy of this product as a fat loss supplement, the problem is, if you want to take it during the day, you're going to be sitting in a pile of sweat because of the thermogenic ingredients. So I'm not necessarily against not having that in this formula. The other thing when it comes to the stabilization of hormones, often putting the hormone stabilizing ingredients in a fat loss supplement kind of makes it difficult if you want to supplement with hormone support supplements on top of your fat loss supplement, because there's too many interactions going on. So the fact that Red Dragon have kind of left this out of this formula allows you to go, no, this is my potent high stim fat burner that's going to help with fat metabolism and going to boost caloric output and going to help me maintain that caloric deficit while improving my mood and making me feel good. And then I'm going to go dabble over here in the hormone support supplements that are also going to support me hormonally to make the most of the caloric deficit that this product is helping put me in. So I actually don't mind it from really what Red Dragon have consciously left out of this formula, because it almost makes the product a little bit more versatile. But in terms of the effects, really the one effect that stands out with the Fireball Black is that energy, that elevation in mood for those of us who really like that from our fat loss supplement. In terms of side effects, the flip side of that major effect is that if you are sensitive to stimulants, you're probably going to want to start with half a scoop, work your way up, just kind of find that sweet spot, because it is, I mean, you know, the caffeine, the synephrine, the hordenine in there, it is a very strong fat burning supplement in terms of the stimulant side of things. So you might just have to work your way up. In terms of stackability, as I've kind of touched on, it's going to stack very well with whatever hormone supplements you want to stack it with. It will also stack from a fat loss perspective with single thermogenic ingredients, EFAs, CLA, any of those sorts of fatty acids that you want to stack with it. There's none in there, so it does stack very well with those as well. The one thing that I will say is don't stack it with any other stimulants or you're going to blow your head off and you're not going to feel very nice. So no stimulant stacking with the Fireball Black. What does it compare to? I gave some thought as to where I wanted to take this comparison. Being an Australian supplement company, Red Dragon, I actually decided to compare it to two other Australian fat loss supplements or fat loss supplements created by Australian supplement companies. On one hand, I have the very popular Faction Labs Deficit. On the other hand, I have the stupidly popular EHP Labs OxyShred Hardcore, which is their black version of OxyShred. So Fireball Black, OxyShred Black, effectively same. Let's see how it stacks up. On one hand, Deficit. Thermogenesis is better in Deficit, as too is fat metabolism. So Deficit kind of wins those two of the 5 rounds. Fireball Black is much better when it comes to metabolic output. Fat loss hormone stabilization is slightly better in Deficit. They both kind of miss the mark if we're going to be honest with it. Energy is stronger in the Fireball Black than Deficit. But Deficit is slightly more balanced when it comes to mood and in particular mental focus as well. So it's definitely not as strong in terms of how it hits you and in terms of the amount of energy you get from Deficit, but it is slightly more balanced from a nootropic perspective. So it's kind of split depending on what effects you want in your fat loss supplement. I will say that Deficit does have more flavors to choose from, so 7 flavors to choose from. Been around a lot longer than Fireball Black. Fireball Black just launching with the 2 flavors, and they are exactly the same price, and they contain the same number of serves, same amount of serves. So the price per scoop, price per serve is exactly the same as well. So when it comes to Deficit and Fireball Black, it really comes down to which effects you value more in your fat loss supplement. Deficit wins a couple of them, Fireball's better for a couple of them, and you're going to have to decide which way you want to go on that. Flipping the script and looking at EHP Labs OxyShred Hardcore, also known as OxyShred Black. In both products, thermogenesis is missing, so we can get rid of that effect. Fat metabolism is very similar in both products. Kind of draw on that effect. Metabolic output is much better in Fireball Black. That is really an effect in addition to energy and feeling of well-being, where Fireball Black does stand out from the competition. Fat loss hormone stabilization is slightly better in OxyShred Hardcore, only so slightly. energy and feeling of well-being is once again stronger in Fireball Black than it is in OxyShred Hardcore. So it's going to hit you harder. It's much stronger. It's much more potent than OxyShred Hardcore is. Similar tastes and consuming experiences across both of them, but once again, OxyShred Hardcore has more flavors to choose from. So 4 flavors compared to the 2 flavors in Fireball. OxyShred Hardcore is just a touch more expensive as well. So it's $5 more expensive. But I think from an overall fat loss effects perspective, Fireball Black does kind of edge out OxyShred Hardcore, in my personal opinion. But there's more flavors to choose from in OxyShred Hardcore, and EHP Labs are known for creating some of the best tasting fat loss supplements on the planet. So once again, it kind of comes down to personal preference in that regard. Who is the Fireball Black best for? Guys, I think if you're looking for a fat loss supplement that is going to provide you a whole heap of energy, but also help improve your mood and your feeling of well-being, but also really hit you really hard. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. Red Dragon do make the original Fireball, which is, I guess, a step down in terms of potency to the Fireball Black. This is a very potent fat burner. And you're trying to lose fat, obviously, but your effects that you're most concerned with are increasing metabolic output and fat metabolism. Fireball Black is going to be right up your alley. But I think really the main thing is it's a very strong fat burner. Let's not kind of, skim over the surface of that. It is a very strong fat burner. If you're looking for a very strong fat burner, Fireball Black is worth a closer look. Last but not least, price and value for money. The 40 scoop, 40 serve tub in the Australian marketplace, we are looking at $79.95. So it comes out at just $2 per serve, which puts it right there at the top of the list of the best value for money fat loss supplements available in the marketplace at this point in time. And Red Dragon have really been doing a great job of that recently, is just kind of positioning their products to make them really, really good value for money for supplement consumers, which means you guys are going to absolutely love the effects and the value that you're getting in each and every serve of the Fireball Black. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MJ Fitness YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, your smart TV, your home cinema, whatever you're watching this video on, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all these new drops of raw reviews and everything else we've got happening here on the channel. Guys, that is Massive Joe's raw review on the all-new Red Dragon Nutritionals Fireball Black High Potency, High Stim Fat Burning Supplement. Until next time, I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning into this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the Massive Joe's YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.